A teacher is teaching a class, and she sees that little Johnny isn't paying attention, so she asks him, "If there are 3 ducks sitting on a fence and you shoot one, how many are left?" Johnny says, "None." The teacher asks, "Why?" Little Johnny says, "Because the shot scared them all off." The teacher says, "No, too, but I like how you're thinking." Little Johnny asks the teacher, "If you see 3 women walking out of an ice cream parlor, one is licking her ice cream, one is sucking her ice cream, and one is biting her ice cream, which one is married?" The teacher says, "The one sucking her ice cream." Little Johnny says, "No, the one with the wedding ring, but I like how you're thinking." A family is at the dinner table. The son asks the father, "Dad, how many kinds of boobs are there?" The father, surprised, answers, "Well, son, a woman goes through 3 phases. In her 20s, a woman's breasts are like melons, round and firm. In her 30s and 40s, they are like pears, still nice, hanging a bit. After 50, they are like onions." "Onions?" the son asks. "Yes, you see them, and they make you cry." This infuriated his wife and daughter. The daughter asks, "Mum, how many different kinds of willies are there?" The mother smiles and says, "Well, dear, a man goes through 3 phases also. In his 20s, his willie is like an oak tree, mighty and hard. In his 30s and 40s, it's like a birch, flexible but reliable. After his 50s, it's like a Christmas tree." "A Christmas tree?" the daughter asks. "Yes, dead from the root up, and the balls are just for decoration." A boy says to a girl, "So, sex at my place?" "Yeah." "Okay, but I sleep in a bunk bed with my younger brother, and he thinks we're making sandwiches, so we have to have a code. Cheese means faster, and tomato means harder, okay?" Later on, the girl is yelling, "Cheese, cheese, tomato, tomato." The younger brother says, "Stop making sandwiches. You're getting mayo all over my bed." At school, little Johnny's classmate tells him that most adults are hiding at least one dark secret, so it's very easy to blackmail them by saying, "I know the whole truth." Little Johnny decides to go home and try it out. Johnny's mother greets him at home and he tells her, "I know the whole truth." His mother quickly hands him $20 and says, "Just don't tell your father." Quite pleased, the boy waits for his father to get home from work and greets him with, "I know the whole truth." The father promptly hands him $40 and says, "Please don't say a word to your mother." Very pleased, the boy is on his way to school the next day when he sees the mailman at his front door. The boy greets him by saying, "I know the whole truth." The mailman immediately drops the mail, opens his arms and says, "Then come give your daddy a great big hug." One day, there were 2 boys playing by a stream. One of the young boys saw a bush and went over to it. The other boy couldn't figure out why his friend was at the bush for so long. The other boy went over to the bush and looked. The 2 boys were looking at a woman bathing naked in the stream. All of a sudden, the second boy took off running. The first boy couldn't understand why he ran away, so he took off after his friend. Finally, he caught up to him and asked why he ran away. The boy said to his friend, "My mom told me if I ever saw a naked lady, I would turn to stone, and I felt something getting hard, so I ran." After picking her son up from school one day, the mother asks him what he did at school. The kid replies, "I had sex with my teacher." She gets so mad that when they get home, she orders him to go straight to his room. When the father returns home that evening, the mother angrily tells him the news of what their son had done. He walks to his son's room and asks him what happened at school. The son tells him, "I had sex with my teacher." The father tells the boy that he is so proud of him and he is going to reward him with the bike he has been asking for. Just after leaving the store, the dad asks his son if he would like to ride his new bike home. His son responds, "No thanks, Dad. My butt still hurts." An old man and woman had been married for 30 years. In those 30 years, the woman had always insisted on the lights being off when they had sex, as she was embarrassed. The man was thankful for this really, as he was embarrassed too and scared that he couldn't please her. So in the dark, he always used a big dildo on her. After all these years of sex, she still had no idea that's what he did. One day, she decided that they'd been together so long that there was no reason to be embarrassed, even though her body was now old. So in the middle of sex, she reached over and turned the bedside lamp on, only to see that her husband was using a dildo. She said angrily, "I knew it, asshole. Explain the dildo." The man replied, "Okay, but first, explain the kids." A mother is in the kitchen making dinner for her family when her daughter walks in. "Mother, where do babies come from?" The mother thinks for a few seconds and says, "Well, dear, Mommy and Daddy fall in love and get married. One night, they go into their bedroom, they kiss and hug and have sex." The daughter looks puzzled, so the mother continues, "That means the daddy puts his penis in the mommy's vagina. That's how you get a baby, honey." The child seems to comprehend. "Oh, I see. But the other night, when I came into your room, you had daddy's willy in your mouth. What do you get when you do that?" "Jewelry, my dear, jewelry." Reporter asked, "Excuse me, may I interview you?" Man replied, "Yes." Reporter asked, "Name?" Man replied, "Abdul Al-Razim." Reporter asked, "Sex?" Man replied, 3 to 5 times a week. Reporter asked, No, I mean male or female?" Man replied, "Yes, male, female, sometimes camel." Reporter asked, "Holy cow." Man replied, "Yes, cow, sheep, animals in general." Reporter asked, "But isn't that hostile?" Man replied, "Yes, horse style, dog style, any style." Reporter asked, "Oh dear." Man replied, No, dear. Deer run too fast, hard to catch." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.